Welcome to Guy Time. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jamal Harris. And we are here in Manchester, Connecticut at Labyrinth Brewing Company. I'm here with one of the owners, Adam. Adam.
Hey, what's happening?
How's it going, brother?
Oh, I'm doing well, man. How are you doing?
I'm feeling good. And look, every day above ground is a blessing. That's how
absolutely.
That's my philosophy.
I 100% agree.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
You got
So, for those that haven't been here to the brewery, why don't you just tell us a little bit about the brewery and how you guys got started?
Well, the short story is that myself and my business partners, we started brewing beer together. We were born and raised in town, so we started this brew club with no intention of making a brewery, just the hobby. You know, like you leave your office job, you know, whatever, it's a hobby. Guys hanging out in the garage.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, go ahead.
Years later, we're just like, wait a minute, you know, like some of the people in the brew club are winning awards at homebrew competitions, and you know, you start chasing perfection, right? So I made this first beer, it went down the drain, it was gross.
Right.
Fast forward, years later, you're like, okay, now I have all this data I've collected, I'm really making this well.
Right.
And everyone's like, oh, you should do this, you should do this. I'm like, I don't know, like, just because I tell a funny joke at Christmas time doesn't mean I'm gonna be a comedian, right?
Of course.
Sure, but then it's like, okay, well, let's take a minute and, all right, so we do some back of the napkin math, and then next thing you know, it's like, wait a minute, we actually can make this happen. All right, let's get a business plan. Let's start looking for a building. What do we, you know, all that stuff that comes with being an entrepreneur. It's like, okay, let's do it.
Nice. Now, walk us through that. So how did opening a brewery become such a dream of yours? Was it the fact that you couldn't find anything you liked, or you just loved beer so much that you just wanted a brewery, you know, of your own?
You know, I would say that essentially we wanted to build a place that we wanted to hang out at.
Nice.
So it's kind of like, okay, we're making all this beer, and it's great to be able to share it. You know, you make beer, you go to the family cookout. Great. You know, everybody says your beer is great. Awesome. But, you know, at this scale, we can make beer and share it with all of our neighbors, our town, the people across the state. It's just like, hey, this is something we've got, and we can share that to a much broader audience. And, I mean, you know, just having a cool place to hang out
is very cool.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we want it to be a little more than just making beer, because sure, there's the factory portion, but there's also the social portion where we're behind the bar, at least pre-pandemic times, kind of chatting with customers and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
So tell us a little bit just about the brewery, the style. Tell us something about the styles, the flavors that you have going on here at Labyrinth.
Yeah, so we try to do a variety of styles. You know, some breweries will focus on a particular type of beer, and they do it well. We've kind of taken the opposite approach, which a lot of tap rooms will do, is try to have something for everybody on tap. So you come here on a weekend, we've got IPAs, we've got hazy and juicy stuff, we've got sour stuff, we've got stuff that tastes like French toast, I got stuff that tastes like cherry pie. Coming out soon is something that's going to taste like some Girl Scout cookies, you know, because, you know, but we've also got like some basic beers for the guy who just wants to come in and get a beer flavored beer. He knows that, like, regular old, maybe it's your first time coming to a craft brewery, whatever. So we kind of try to have something for everybody. Does it always work?
No,
but we're trying. I mean,
but you gotta try it though.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing.
You got to test it out.
There's something there.
And I like the fact that you have such a diverse flavors, got colors here and styles that you know, like even you know, it's something for everybody. Like I can bring my girl here. We can find something for her to like as well. I can find other guys too. We can all find something that we like here, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, we also do, we'll also serve, we don't make the cider that we serve here, but we have a partnership with 4 different Connecticut-made cideries. So even for people who are not beer drinkers, we've got cider on, we've got Connecticut-made wines on, we do some frozen drinks as well. So, I mean, even if you got somebody in your group that's not the beer person, there's probably something that they're going to drink. Yeah, they're going to drink and enjoy. You know, it's like,
This is fantastic. So, so where can the guys, I know they can get the beer here in Manchester. But let's say, you know, if they're home somewhere else, can they find your beer in local stores?
Absolutely.
What's your distribution?
So I would say Greater Manchester is good place to find that is most of the liquor stores in Greater Manchester, but we have a bunch of other areas outside. We're not totally covering the whole state, but I know, I mean, you know, we're like down in Norwalk, we're down in a few other places. So, you know, anywhere where there's like a large population center, meaning that there's a lot of package stores, liquor stores in a small area, we're probably at a few of those. We're also on draft at a bunch of restaurants in the area as well. So, you know, if you're Central Connecticut, if you're Central Connecticut, Greater Manchester, you're going to find us. Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
You know.
As an entrepreneur, you all went through the pandemic, and hopefully we're on the back end of things.
Please. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Please. Yeah.
so what lessons have you learned yourself as an entrepreneur during the last year and a half or so?
Oh man, like be flexible.
Right.
Like don't. The biggest thing is not to just assume that, okay, there's this obstacle, we're never going to surmount this.
Yeah.
Because if that was the case, we would be closed.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it, like when the pandemic started, the governor said, okay, your tap room's closed.
Right.
Well, that's our business model. Being
Right.
here at the bar,
Right.
live band.
People
Yeah,
everywhere.
right.
Yeah.
You know, 100 people in here
Right.
enjoying some live music, you know, everybody sort of shouldering through the crowd.
Right.
Like, that is not a thing
Right.
now. It is
Right.
not a thing last year. It's probably not a thing this year, you
Right.
know? So how do we adjust our business? Well,
Yeah.
that's just kind of like, all right, well, what's other ways we can get our product to market? What are other events we can do virtually? You know, like at the beginning of the pandemic, we did tons of virtual events just to sort of adapt and change
Right.
because the circumstances are different. And you know what? I'm not the boss of the pandemic, so
Right.
like it is what it is. I can't, you know,
Right.
I mean, I don't have a direct line to the governor to say,
Right.
hey, buddy, you know, fix
Open
this.
up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's not a thing, you know. So it's like, how do we? This is the new rules.
Yeah.
All right, now we got to play. The game's changed. How do we do it?
Yeah.
You know.
Now, speaking of events, you host several events normally here at the
Yeah.
brewery.
Yep.
What are some upcoming events you have coming up?
So usually on Sunday we'll do brunch. So
Okay.
we do like brunch. We coordinate with our food truck. We do like beer mimosas. So think beer and juice
mimosas.
and you know sometimes a little booze in there. You know,
All right.
depends on what's going on. We want to
Of
get the
course.
flavor profile right.
Right.
So we'll do that on Sundays. We have a couple of and all this information you can find on our website.
Okay.
Which is www.lbc.beer,
Okay.
or you can find it on our Facebook, Instagram.
We'll put it on the bottom
Yeah.
of the screen. Don't worry about it. We got you guys.
Yeah, I mean, if you Google us, you'll find us. So, well, we have a couple we have one that's called Trex, Flex, and Brews. And so basically, you know, the group of people, social distance, hike up Case Mountain here in town. So
Wow.
Yep. In the morning,
Okay.
at the top of the mountain, do some yoga,
Okay.
you know, some stretching, some light stretching, then hike down the mountain, come over
back.
here, get a beer, get something from the food truck,
Yeah.
and then just kind of, you know, hang out and
Oh, that's nice.
oh yeah, absolutely.
that's a
So
great time.
sometimes we'll do like some yoga
Great
stuff
time.
here. We've done a few
Yeah.
craft events. We have a flower arranging class. I think it's March 31.
Okay, nothing
you
wrong
know?
with that. All
Yeah,
right.
so you like sit here and there's an instructor. She's gonna walk you through how to like make a flower arrangement,
Okay.
and you know you get a beer, you get some food from the food truck. It's
Nice.
just, you know, it's like everybody's social distance. So
Right.
we're just trying to, you know, how do we make beer fun? Like, sure, you want to come out and have a beer, but how do we give a little social experience, add a
course.
little bit of different stuff to it? I mean, you know.
And it's a great date night idea too. I mean,
Are you kidding me? Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
You love that.
I take my lady
bring
to
a
paint nights
here.
all the time.
Of
Yeah.
course,
So yeah.
of course, this is great.
Yeah. You know, the painting goes into fire afterwards, but that's
Right,
okay.
that's
We
right.
go to paint night anyhow.
Don't worry
It
about
doesn't
it.
matter.
It's
You
the
know.
experience.
You don't
It's
have
the
to be
experience.
Picasso. Yeah. You're just there. You're talking. You're chatting. You're having a few beers.
Right.
You know, just kind of enjoying yourself, and yeah, then you have something to show for it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Hey, so
So.
speaking of, you know what? Let's get to the most important part.
Awesome.
The beer.
Cool.
So we have four great beers in front of us right now. Walk us through what we got going on, because I got to try some of this stuff. Stuff
All
is
right.
great.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the first beer that
Yeah.
I have here, this is the Maze. And this is what is called a cream ale, right? But it's not creamy. It's sort of like almost like a misnomer. Essentially, this is like a lawnmower beer. It's light, it's crisp. Think of like you're doing some yard work. You want to drink something that's
Yeah.
going to kind of hydrate you a little bit.
Right, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. You can crush a bunch of these during the game, still follow the game.
Right.
You know, by halftime you didn't
Won't
pass
won't
out
pass
yet.
out?
Yeah.
Nice.
So it has, it's crispy, it's
Yeah.
light in body, so it's not going to sit in your stomach. It has a little bit of sweet corn character, which is why we call it the Maze, but you know, spelled like corn maze.
Yeah.
You know, because we're the Labyrinth.
Labyrinth.
So, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, sometimes when we're trying to come up with these names, we're just like, you know, like,
Right.
what the heck are we
Whatever.
going to call this? Yeah,
Yeah.
right. You know, sometimes it's the weirdest thing. But yeah, so I mean, go ahead and you know. You're definitely going to get that grain, corn kind of forwardness.
Yes, I do taste the grainy. It's not heavy when it goes down.
Yeah.
So I could definitely sip this, you know, without feeling loaded and heavy.
Yeah.
You know, you probably have 2 or 3 of these while you're watching
yeah.
the game or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Mowing the lawn, grilling, like any of those like outdoor things, you know, like go to the beach, throw a bunch of these in the cooler, and you know, you're kind of like all day long. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
What's the alcohol content? of it?
5.4.
Oh, sweet.
So that's
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
Mm.
You know.
This one's a little too good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. You know, like, especially
That was a little too good.
Yeah, especially like on canning days when you have ones that like the label's not on or the can's dented. Well, then like everybody's taking all those cans home, and I go home, I'm like, well, I got a whole case of this. I'm like, well, I gotta drink it.
Why not? Yes.
I can't waste it. You know. I mean, so.
Great. All right. So what we got next?
Okay,
What's
so
this
the next beer is.
I like the can on this one.
Oh, thanks. The next beer is called Turbo Love Juice, and so this is one of our, I would say, if we had to have a flagship, this is probably one of the ones that is most well known. It's one of the beers we've been brewing probably the longest since we opened a couple years ago.
Okay.
And this is a New England style IPA, so you see it's got some haziness to it.
Yep.
It's got Citra, Cascade, and Laurel hops. Actually, there's also some Equinox in it. But it basically has like some tropical. You'll get tropical flavors on the nose. You might even get some pineapple on the flavor. There's no fruit in the beer, but that's all like that hop combination.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna get that sort of like fruity, juicy, tropical. Those are all kind of the notes that people usually pick up on this.
Now, how's this one here at the brewery? Is this like a favorite?
Oh my God, if I could brew this every day, I would.
Yeah.
You know, this is like that song that the band has to keep playing over and over again, whether they like it or not. You know, I mean, it's good beer, but it's like that's always in the rotation because, you know, people are always looking for it, you know. And whether that's liquor stores and cans or here on draft, people are like, oh, you got Turbo Love Juice? You got Turbo Love Juice? I'm like, yeah, we got it. We got it.
And you know what? You make all these beers in-house as well, right?
Everything's made right behind this wall.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. Yep. So, you know, and this one's 6.5%, so it's not too
Oh,
heavy
no, that's
either.
good too.
Yeah. Yep.
So these recipes you and the fellas put together, or?
Anybody in our organization can have an idea.
Yeah.
But my other partner, Sean, is like our head of production, so he's the guy that actually does the writing of the recipes.
Yeah.
But we're always soliciting ideas from people, like even the French toast beer. Somebody was just like, hey man, like let's make one that tastes like French toast.
French toast.
And so then it's like, okay, we start talking about ingredients, and you know, Sean's the mastermind. He's got the science knowledge. You know what I mean? Like he's the crazy guy in the lab coat, and he's like, all right, we're gonna do this, and this is how we're gonna do it.
Wow. Okay, so let's go to the French toast boy.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is called.
What is this about here?
This is called Steep French, and it's literally a French toast brown ale. So think of all the flavors you have in French toast.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so that's going to be like maple, cinnamon. It's going to have breadiness. So
Breadiness.
you're going to get that like malt up front. It's going to have some sweetness to it because obviously French toast is sweet.
Of
you
course.
know. So.
Let's go down.
Ooh. Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
There's a little hint of vanilla in there as well.
Yep. Definitely a maple flavor.
Oh yeah.
Breadiness.
It certainly has some sweetness to it. Like even like, you know, it'll kind of leave a little sweet on your lips. You know, people after they're done drinking it, they're licking their lips a little bit like, okay.
Yes.
You know, yeah, all right. You know, it's definitely I mean, it's almost like it's like breakfast in a can.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like if it was if it was appropriate to drink at 8 in the morning, you just like get out of bed and crack this and
crack
just
this bad boy.
Yeah, make an egg, drink this. You know.
What's the alcohol content on this one?
That's a good question. It's 6.4.
6.4?
Yeah,
okay.
I knew it wasn't too bad. You know, it wasn't too high, but you know, we certainly do high alcohol beers, but the majority of our beers we try to keep in that middle range, just because you know you drive here from across the state. You know, you bring some to a to a whatever, a Super Bowl party or a cookout. You know, I mean, one and done that's not much of fun. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I mean, you know. Oh yeah, seriously. I mean, we've certainly done like imperial stouts of like 10% in a bottle.
Yeah.
I mean, we're about to release a barley wine that's 15.5% alcohol at the end.
15?
Yeah, it should
what
be
is that?
April 1. Oh my
April
God,
1?
that will share that bottle
April
with a friend.
1st.
You
gotta get here.
Definitely.
I'm gonna be here.
Yeah, seriously. You know, so we certainly do some stuff that's like up there, but we try to keep most of the mainstays, you know, in that 5, 6, 7%, just so, you know, just you can kind of enjoy it. Yeah, because
enjoy it for the day.
I want to enjoy the beers. You know, like I'm a guy that when I go out to a brewery, I want to try 3, 4, 5 beers.
Exactly.
I don't want to just have one and be like,
done.
You know, falling asleep in the back of the car and then you're driving me home.
No,
you know, like, yeah.
That's not a fun night. That
no,
is
not at all.
Night at all.
No way.
So what we got here? The last one.
All right, so the last one is called Sour Minotaur, right? And so this is a sour beer. This one is it's a sour fruited IPA, right?
A sour fruited IPA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So think of like a New England IPA, but with tons of fruit and this yeast that makes the beer sour.
Yeah.
Right. To kind of, you know, in layman's terms.
Right.
You know, This has guava, pineapple, and tangerine in this one.
Okay.
So you're gonna kind of get all those flavors, but it's gonna kind of make you pucker a little bit. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, you'll kind of smell it when you'll kind of smell that sourness. Yeah, it's definitely gonna, yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, you definitely get it on the tongue. Yeah. I mean, it might not make you turn
do.
inside out, but it's definitely.
It does.
If you don't like anything sour, this is not the beer for you, you know. But if you're adventurous and you're into that, like.
You know what? After a couple sips,
Yeah.
kind of get used to it.
Oh yeah,
Get used to it.
Yep. That first sip is just like bam.
Yeah,
then-
it hits you hard. It does hit you hard.
And then you just like start sipping. You're like, all right, I can get down with this. This is good.
Now, how does your customers react to this one here? They find it too strong, or they like it, or
You know, people who like sours love this beer.
Yeah.
You know, to the fact that when almost every time we've released this, it almost always sells out in like a day or a weekend, or depending upon, you know, sometimes we make a ton more, sometimes, you know, depends on the brew schedule. But when we've done just like a simple, or rather a single batch of this, it's like gone.
Nice.
Yeah, which is great. And, you know, it's like people who like those sour beers really kind of like this. This is part of a series, so every time we put it out, we throw a few different fruits in it. So, you know, just to kind of keep it a little bit fresh, and just it gives us the ability to be creative as well in the brew house.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know, try something a little bit different.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. So give some advice here as some parting words to any aspiring entrepreneur, anybody who's thinking about starting their own business, you know, brewery or not. Just what would you say? What would you say to them? Give some.
Wow. Yeah, that is tough. I might need a few more of these beers. You know, yeah. Woo, all right. You know, I mean, being an entrepreneur is tough.
Yeah,
like in general, it doesn't matter what kind of business you've got, doesn't matter how much financial backing you've got, whatever skill set you have already.
Right.
You know, every business is so different.
Right.
You know, the best advice I could say is to, you know, make a coherent business plan. You know, we get a lot of people, for example, that come in here and they're like, hey, you know, we like what you guys did. We've got some other type of business. You know, what's some advice? It's like, okay, well, do you have a business plan? Do you have an idea? And granted, that business plan on day one is not going to be the same on day two. Let me tell you, we set a business plan. 2 years later, we opened this place. That business plan is totally different. We're 3 years into this. The business plan is totally different, right?
Of course.
But definitely do as much research in whatever the field it is that you're trying to get into, whatever that business is. Know your customer base, know what people want. You know, I mean, that's kind of been really good for us. And also, you know, be flexible.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you've got to kind of like do your homework, and also when your homework turns out that this is not a thing anymore, okay, now there's some more homework we got to do, and that's just, I mean, that's just the way it is for businesses. If you're not like flexible, and you're not sort of like planning and whatnot, then you know, you're going to be blindsided by something. Maybe it's a global pandemic. You know, who knows? You know?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, we had tons of contingencies for all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Like building burns down, you know, somebody gets injured, like whatever, aliens abduct us. Never thought a global pandemic was going to shut us all down, you know?
Of course.
But whatever, man, you flex.
Yeah.
You know, make new plans, and that's it.
Hey, speaking of plans, make plans this weekend to come down here to Labyrinth Brewing Company. Come meet Adam, the team. They'll take good care of you. April 1st, be on the lookout.
Oh yeah, for Left Hand Path, that's our barley wine.
Left Hand Path barley wine.
Yeah, you got it.
I'm telling you, you might see me here April 1st. I'm telling you like that right now. I'm telling you, this has been great. Adam,
awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming out.
We'll be right back after this. Guy time.
Cheers.
Cheers. We're out.